Hey folks, how's it going? Elevator music. Now I click on the first video that popped up. How's it going, Jeffrey? Good to see you. I would go for something a bit heavier. I suppose I could go for something heavier. Why have I got my camera as a microphone option? That it's not even plugged in. Yeah, let's get rid of that camera option. Right, it's not plugged in. It's not causing me an issue. I'll do it after the stream. I'm a little bit washed out. Yeah, I'm looking okay. Yeah, could do something a little bit more. Let's go for something a little bit more. A bit Enchanted Forest. How about this? A bit more calming. Just want something in the background to stop my headphones from switching themselves off. As soon as there's no sound, these turn off. And I like to be able to hear kind of what's going on. Well, I hope you've all been well. It's Wednesday. We're doing some Blender stuff today. I've decided, until I can think of any games to play on Wednesdays that I particularly want to play. Now, there's loads of games I could play. But until I decide what game I want to kind of go, oh yes, I'm going to play that, I'm going to do some Blender stuff on Wednesdays. We'll still do our Unity game dev on Fridays, but we'll do Blender on Wednesdays. Because I need to do more Blender stuff, otherwise I'm going to forget. And I'm already kind of forgetting how to use Blender. Fight me in OpenRA, gangster. Is that your Wednesday game? Maybe we can do OpenRA. That's an option. But for today we'll do some Blender. We'll switch over. You can see what's going on. This music's way too chilled now. Although it might work, I don't know. I've just purchased a Humble Bundle for royalty-free kind of creator background music. That's sort of open license for podcasts, YouTubers, streamers, video game developers. So once I've downloaded that, I might use that as my background stuff while I'm streaming. But yeah, today we just gotta. Well, I need to remember it's like the controls for Blender are very similar to Unity, but not quite. So they're close, but not quite. So this is where I'm gonna have to try and remember what I'm doing. But I've got a few reference photos, images that I would like to try and create in Blender. So we're going to give those a go today. Because I can try and find some assets. But certain things are quite unique in how I want them to work. So it's better I kind of make them, I suppose. Now, if I am correct in thinking, this cube is 2 meters squared. So each of these squares you see here are representative of a meter. So this cube is 2 meters by 2 meters by 2 meters. So I know if I move this up, so it's actually in line with the plane as it is. That's 2 meters high now. I can never remember how we. It's not right click. This morning, dog barked me awake. I watched out the window, and 2 ladies with dogs were having a nice chat right in front of my gate. Okay, can happen. Yeah, that'll be a bit annoying now. 5 minutes later, they're still there. There was a third, and one was leaning against my gate. Well, that's just mad manners. Yeah, you don't lean on people's property. So I got dressed and chained my dogs and walked towards them slowly. Yeah, I can imagine their reaction. Ran like hell. Awesome. Yeah, you don't hang outside people's houses having a chat. Especially not leaning on their property. No, I'm going to use this cube as a reference marker. Good for you though, that must have been fun to do. Right, the thing I want to make... Yes, it was very fun, awesome. I do like that emote, that is cool. I'm thinking this needs to be at least 3 meters. Uh, 3 or 4? I think. We could make it 4 meters. Because a person, like someone as myself, is 1 point... I think I'm 1.8 meters. So if this is 2 meters high, if I'm 1 point... I think I'm 1.8 meters. Let's have a quick look. What's that in centimeters? Yeah, 1.87, so nearly 1.88. So I'm about 1.88. So I'm yeah, 1.88. So I'm going to be... If I was stood next to this, I'd probably be about up to there, I'm guessing. So that's quite high, but I think this needs to be at least 3 meters. This one's standing there. I think 3 meters high would probably be about right. So that needs to be... If we shrink it this way. That's 0.1. Made that dimension there 0.1, but make this 1.5, and that in theory should be 3 meters tall now. How bizarre. Okay, okay, it's good to know that these keys do things. So that needs to be 1.5 meters from there. Okay. So this bar here, that is a 3 meter bar. So I could do with adding in, add in curve, circle. And I need the let's make this 90 degrees. make... This is a Z, isn't it? I need to work on. So Z 1.5. 1.5. 1.5. So that is about, that is a circle with a 3-meter diameter. And say a person would be standing about this here. Hey, sell emotes! Hey Lisa, how's it going? Sell the best emotes on Twitch. Good to see you. All those awesome emotes there. I do love that bot. I just kind of just scatters the emotes. New addition. Ooh. Oh, that's funky. Party frog. I like it. I'm doing good. How are you? I'm pretty good. It's been a good day today. It's been a fairly quiet at work. Managed to get some work done. I'm this close to finishing the project at work. And I reckon tomorrow morning I will get the project finished. And that'll be quite nice. Just kind of get what, like, finished as far as anything in IT can be finished, because IT is never finished. Finished as in the initial kind of setup goes, and then there's always, but can you change this, or can you check that, or this needs fixing, and but as far as like an initial release, so to speak, it'll be finished. That's quite happy. Yeah, I found a Rainbow Frog 2 Flashy, so tried this one again. This time got approved. Nice, that's awesome. Yeah, I don't understand Twitch's approval process. It doesn't make a lot of sense. But then a lot of things about Twitch doesn't make a lot of sense. Yeah. Those are some cool frogs. Right, so that is kind of my... Can I do something with this circle now? Where to mesh? I don't think I need a mesh really. The circle being there is kind of the main point of this. What I need to do now is make individual elements. I could probably... I wonder if I can bring in stones of what I've already got. Let's go to file location. So I can bring in like an established rock I can do something with. Some people say I could have politely told them, or even used the gates intercom. Where's the fun in that? No, that you are fully within your right to go and take your dog for a walk. That there's no rules that say you couldn't take your dog for a walk. The fact they happen to be standing there is their own problem. It's not like you should be kept in your own home because I stood there. Plus, it's far more fun to kind of like go, hey, I live here, here's my dog, say hello. Fantasy Village. Farm. Tiny treats. Where's the castle stuff? Mega castle. We want some rocks. So I can take a rock and I can reshape it. There's no point trying to make a rock from scratch if there's a rock that already exists. Now, will it be friendly towards me? Let me just drag a rock in. Probably not. I do open with Blender. Didn't seem to want to do that. Let's try and import it. Import FBX file. Hope my new Cubans arrive soon. They're bigger than my current ones. Nice. The seller said they're 100% platinum. Nice. I paid €1.80, so I do wonder. Yeah. It's very suspect when things are that cheap. Since platinum's more expensive than gold, yeah. Does make you wonder. Yeah, that rock's kind of. But would a Temu seller ever lie? You never know. Just never know. Let's delete that. Let's try and import another one. So import FBX file. Let's go for Rockstar. Not Rockstar, but Rockstar. Does it work like that? I just have to scroll down to rock every time. Yeah, okay. Oh. Interesting. Okay. Now this is probably going to break something, but we're going to try anyway. Let's go import. We've imported everything named rock. Is it all as one rock? We have many rock. Many rock. That's a cliff. Okay. Could be useful. Could be useful. Let's put that over there. This, on the other hand, is probably not useful. It's too big for our needs. Oh, that could be cliffs. So rock cliffs. Let's delete those because We know what the rock cliffs look like, which is basically a series of rocks. That's a bit too big. We have a tree. Oh, the tree's got rocks. Oh, it's got like a little fountain. That's cool. Garden verge. Rock garden verge. Okay. That's quite nice. I like it, but it's not what we want. What else do we have? We got a cup. Yeah. That's kind of a nice rock. It's your typical kind of chiseled like a rock upper over there. That's not a bad rock. This one, probably a little bit too angular. Don't like that rock. That one, yeah, it's a bit too angular again. Oh, this one. It's a good rock for being in the ground, that rock, but this one, yeah, a bit too angular for me again. Yeah, so these rocks are good for just sticking out the ground. You need rocks that stick out the ground. That one's not too bad. I kind of like that rock. Well, we should put this rock over there. That one. Kind of like that rock. We'll put this over here as well. Okay. We now have a series of small rocks. No. No, not that one either. Not those. Like multiple rocks, I'm not needing. Individually those rocks seem nice. I shall keep that in the idea that I can actually split those rocks out. Maybe the same with those ones as well. Don't like those rocks. That's kind of a nice rock. That rock might be the same as one of these rocks here anyway. It looks the same as that rock there. So these individual rocks might actually just be... That looks exactly the same as that rock. So that's rock 05. That's rock 01. I don't know what the difference between 05 and 01 is. They look about the same to me. Yeah, what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete those joined ones and keep the individuals, because I reckon they're just made up of these individual rocks anyway. So anything that has more than one rock together we'll instantly delete, because we don't want to be messing around splitting rocks into individuals when we have the base rocks available to us. I don't really like that one. No, too flat. I don't like that either. Nope. Maybe that one. Don't like the angle of that one. Didn't realise I had so many rocks in this pack. So all these rocks are in the same pack that the castle came from. And all those kind of buildings I'm using in Revolt Overthrow comes with a lot of these rocks, which is quite nice. You can just have a whole series of rocks to play with. And it only take me a few minutes to make my own rock, but if someone's already done the work for me. Okay, we have a series of rocks there. So I'm thinking more these small rocks here rather than these big rocks at the back. These big rocks at the back would be useful for other things I want to do. Especially that one. I like how round that one is. So I'll delete these ones here. They're about the right size, I would say. Let's flip that 90 degrees on the Z. Let's flip all of these 90 degrees on the Z. Let's move these kind of down here so they're in line now. I'll have a cup of tea here. Got a lovely red berry tea. Not quite as strong as it has been in the past. Why are there 0 people here? Well, there's 4 people here. I'm not sure which ones you're counting, but welcome in, Earth. The fact you're here makes at least 1 person. Yeah, Coltikumori's here. Lysaurus Rex is here. Oh, YouTube. Yeah, not many people tuning in on YouTube. But yeah, welcome in. Stay here for a while. Awesome. Welcome to stay. Hang out as much as you like. You can chat. You don't have to chat. We're lurker friendly here. People just like to tune in and listen. But yeah, most of my viewers tend to kind of just hang out. But yeah, most of my following is on Twitch, and I have a few people on YouTube. All depends on the day and what we're up to. We're a variety streamer. Some days I'm doing things like Blender or Unity. Some days I'm playing games like Stardew Valley or Croc Legend of the Gobbos. Ah, I see, yes. So I hope you're having a good day. Having a good Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. The weather seems to be getting nicer here, generally speaking. Still a little bit up and down, but it's good to see summer is nearly on its way. Should we go for a larger rock? I think we go for a larger rock. Move that one out of the way. Midnight here. Oh wow. So you must be what is it? It's 4 hours ahead. 4 hours? Maybe 3 or 4 hours? Whereabouts are you tuning in from? I'm in the UK here. It's 8:36 p.m. So we're just starting our evening. We want a bit of a rotation going on here. So yeah, if you want to tune in just as something to listen to while you're kind of settling in for the night, that's pretty cool. Might need to shrink these a little bit. Probably still a bit too chunky, that rock. Let's shrink it down a little bit. Probably needs a little rotation this way, just to kind of line it up. I don't mind about these angles, it's mainly kind of these parallels. Let's do an overhead look, see how it looks there. Yeah, that looks about, it's about parallel. It doesn't have to be exact. Rocks don't get can't be placed exact locations unless you're an Egyptian architect, I suppose. Maybe not Egyptian architects. The rocks can be slightly off. Not really midnight. Oh wow, even further. 4:38 a.m. Good morning to you. Oh wow, so you're either up really late or up really early. It's there's no difference in the split there. It's yeah, it's a very rare occasion I'm still awake at 4 o'clock in the morning. It has happened on many occasions, but it's rare. I'm wondering if I want that rock any smaller. I don't want to make the rocks too small. I want a series of rocks. And we probably want the rock to be on the outer part of that circle. So I think that if the rock's on the outer part, I think that's probably an appropriate size. Up really late. Oh wow. Yeah, up late having fun, or is it up late because you've had to do a lot of stuff? Fortunately, in recent years, I've been up late because I've been having fun. Been cool things going on, and they kept going on into the morning. Did work a job once which finished at 4 o'clock in the morning. I wasn't at that job for very long. I think I did that job for about 2 months. I thought, no, this job is not for me. Starting at like 10 p.m. and finishing at like 4 a.m. Nothing wasting my time. That's cool. As long as you feel you're getting something out of it. Time is never wasted as long as you get something out of it. I always try and take any spare time I have like learning things, even if I'm watching something, having a bit of entertainment. I like to kind of feel I've gained something, whether it's just time with friends, learning something, researching something. Even if it's like scrolling on your phone, if you've picked up information you wouldn't have had otherwise. Yeah, true, yeah. Like, so many people consider their time wasted because they've not done something that society deems useful to a wider society. But if it's useful to you in some way, like say like playing games or watching Netflix is a waste of time, I hard disagree on that. Like entertainment and knowledge, gaining knowledge is never a waste of time. Like playing a video game is obviously gives you skills, it kind of keeps you happy, it gives you all the endorphins in your head going. So those things are never a waste of time. And like Netflix, there's a lot of good stuff you can learn from Netflix. Being entertained, learning new stories. All kind of builds up to benefit in the end. Now I could do with resizing all these rocks to approximately the same size, not exactly the same size, because again, we're not Egyptian architects. We don't need to precision cut these rocks to an exact size. No, I kind of like, even though there's only really going to be a top of that rock being poking out, it's very hard to actually see. Let's put the there we go. So you're only really going to see above this green line here, but I will be using duplicates of that rock elsewhere, so it's not completely wasted. Need to cook my breakfast now. Cool. You do your thing. Hope you're having something tasty and nutritious, something that's going to keep you going for the day, or something that just is just tasty. I always try to have a nice filling breakfast because I'm usually hungry by about 10 o'clock while I'm sat on my desk at work. So it's nice to have a good filling breakfast. Well, I'm going to resize this rock a little bit because it's a little bit too big for what we need, but it's close enough. I reckon about there should do it. Make sure we're roughly in line. We are. That might need a slight twist. Let's line it up so we have the parallels. Again, I don't care about the top and the bottoms here, as long as the parallels are roughly where they should be. It doesn't matter if it's slightly wider either, because being slightly wider gives it character. You can see how the rocks overlap. In actual fact, probably move that in slightly. So we've got that rock overlapping. Yeah, something along those lines. We move this up and we're going to have to rotate it along this axis. Probably about there. I think so. Let's go a little bit higher, but then bring it back a bit so it's still. You see, I do want those. I don't want like a gap there. So I think I'm going to have to overlap it a little bit. But I don't mind this little gap because again that gives that character. What I might do as well, if I shrink it just a little bit more. And we want to move it this way a bit. Might need a slight twist as well. Let's go back this way. Hey, there's those rainbow frogs. Or the party frogs, should I say. Okay, if you've not guessed, we're going to try and follow this circle around with a series of rocks. And I want the rocks to be individual, actual rocks, as in separate pieces. Because I want this stone circle to kind of dismantle. I don't want it to be solid. I want it to be able to become individual components. So unfortunately that does mean a little bit of painstakingly placing these things. But it'll be worth it. It'll be worth it. I keep telling myself it'll be worth it. So what rock should we use next? Maybe that one? I think that needs a 180 rotation. Let's go 180. We will be bringing it back, but it gives me a better idea. Probably I'm guessing about there. Let's undo that. And again. So while it's flat, I'm going to try and line it up. Let's go to the overhead view. What is that? Not sure what that is. What is that? Is that a circle? So it's the light. Okay. Let's move that over there. We don't want the light in the way. So we want to rotate this so the parallels line up. That's about there, I would say. Or we could do with a little bit of rotation this way though. Let's move this rock out of the way. Put that that way. There we go. Probably do with this rotating a little bit. Cool, okay. I think I'm happy with that. Oops. We aren't doing any animation just yet. Right, let's bring this rock up, bring it into there and give it a bit of a rotation. Oops, wrong way. Probably about there. Probably do a resizing a little bit. Okay, we've got 3 rocks there. I reckon this one would be quite nice next. Let's see if we can line this up. Oh, I managed to go all the way upside down. Swing this around this way. We could do a shrinking that on this axis a little bit. Bring that up to there and give it a rotation this way. Probably needs a little bit more rotation. So I want that circle line to kind of intersect with it a little bit. Okay. Now, do we duplicate any of the ones we've already got, or should we try and resize. I reckon we can pull this one out again. So let's duplicate that. So option there. There we go. Probably about there, a bit more maybe. We'll just get it to kind of overlap slightly. Cool, I think that's looking alright. About a quarter about the way, yeah, about a quarter of the way around the circle. Now what I could do is copy paste all of those ones, but I do want the be a slightly different stone in the middle at the top. And I don't want it to be look too much of a pattern there. So you'll look at that and go, okay, I can see it's been copy pasted. If I do that, I'm at least going to have to try and mix up how the stones look a little bit. I suppose I could mirror it, so do half of it and then mirror to the other side. It wouldn't be as bad. And try giving that a go. Doing half of it and then mirroring it to the other side. I'm thinking maybe one of these more flat stones here as a centre stone there. Probably this one here actually. Let's move that aside. This one might be more suitable. As a flat stone. For the base. Line the parallels on the side. Lines in the middle. Probably about there. So most of that's going to be under the ground, but you will see a little bit poking up. Actually, I could do actually poking up slightly. I'm quite happy with that. So probably using some of these stones here what I might have to end up having to do is taking a stone and reshaping it for the centre at the top. So I like the stone in the centre of the top to be kind of symmetrical both sides, not just a random rock, but kind of like a shaped rock that is kind of a even shape. Whereas the rest of these rocks are just rocks. I could take a couple of these random ones. So these ones do look quite flat. A lot of these rocks are angled on the side, which makes it good for like lining up on a curve. You can see a lot of them got the angles where they could naturally kind of sit on a curve. So that's quite a good advantage for how they kind of sit next to each other. And what I could probably do, once I'm happy with the placement, is actually going in and adjust the mesh of these rocks. So they are sitting mesh to mesh and not actually overlapping. At the moment the meshes are overlapping, which is not a problem. But to make it more believable, you kind of want it that the meshes are actually just lined up. And not the meshes are kind of like actually sitting next to each other, not over each other. So we'd have to see where they intersect and just have them touching. It gets a bit awkward when they're kind of like wrapping like that. I suppose what I could probably do with this is I resize this one out a bit. It doesn't matter if the bottom is a little bit wider because it's on the base. So maybe I wonder if I should use that one. Oh, there's that one. Maybe that one? That one just looks like a slightly longer version of that one. So if I shrank that one, it would end up looking like that anyway. Let's give that a little bit more of a rotation, because that doesn't look flat enough to me. Yeah, it kind of looks a bit flatter now. Just kind of centre that a bit more. And what we can do, because we're not actually going to be seeing the bottom part of it, we can kind of shrink that a bit. Now I've shrinked it, you can see how far off the actual angle is. Doesn't matter about that one because that rock is just going to be as it is. But we want a nice solid bit in the middle for the base. Maybe just kind of bring this up a little bit more. Might need a little rotation that way. There we go. Smooth this out our way. Cool. So I don't mind that kind of poking out the ground a little bit. If you consider this mesh grid here to be the ground, we could put a ground plane in just to kind of visualize it better. Let's add surface. That's a curved surface. Cool, but not what I was after. Volume. Mesh. A plane. There we go. Let's resize this plane. Move them off the plane. So you get an idea of what it would look like now. So this was like dirt or grass. So you wouldn't see anything below that line. So I want to build up to towards the middle. Get our nice shaped rock, and then I'm going to copy either side because I don't mind it being identical both sides. At least for now. If I don't like it, I can always build either half, but at least it's a thing. So by my estimates, so we've taken 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 stones. So I reckon 1, 2, 3. 3 more stones and then a center stone. So I reckon we can probably copy that stone. The good thing about copying the stones as well means I know they're the right size and they're on the right kind of axis. So I only have to worry about their placement to a certain degree. So that was rock 08. That's 08 one. So I've copied that one. This one is rock 13. So if I copy rock 13 next. Then one more rock. Not done that one, what's that one? 15. Let's copy rock 15. Might need to shrink this one a little bit. can never remember how to move around the scene. Yes, that needs a little bit of rotation. Let's shrink that a little bit. That's about right there, I think. Let's flip that one maybe. Let's do a complete flip on that. You're making one of those moon gates you told me about. Indeed. You're spot on. Rotation 90 that way. How does that look? Yeah, I'm going to have to rotate it like that as well. Now there is a certain knack to kind of building a moon gate in real life. So you would actually have some like brickwork on the side here, and all the weight and the pressure from these up here would not only push down on these stones but push down this way into the brickwork here. So you'd have to have like equally almost like a 2 points leading up to here that will then take almost like a curved triangle coming up to the midpoint of the circle, and then all the weight from this arc here will push into the 2 points of this triangle, and the same on the other side, and then the center stone will then push onto both sides and kind of it'll keep the structure upright. I've seen videos on YouTube of people actually building moon gates out of rocks. But as I'm building it here, this would not work, obviously, because there's no support here. But you'd have to like build up a triangle of rocks on either side. So this naturally will have sort of more support. There's a little bit of a twist on that. Probably needs to move over slightly. Move over a little bit more. There we go. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. That needs to come down very slightly. Yeah, a little bit more rotation on that actually. I think if that is where that sits, I'm either going to have a small stone here and like a small triangular stone here, or quite a largish stone, which I don't mind having a large stone because I could have this size stone here sitting at the top. That kind of bridges it like a T. So that could definitely work. So what I'm going to do is save this file. What should we call this? We should call it Moon Gate 1. And we're going to want to see if we can copy that over now. Well, I could try and name these actually. Now we have them in place. So that there, let's rename that to G, call it G0 because it's at the bottom. So that G1R. G2R, G3R, G4R, G5R, G6R, G7R, G8R. So that kind of puts them all in the right order on the side now. With G0 at the top, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the R stands for right. Now if I copy all of these, flip them, and then change the R's to L's to say left. And finally, rather than G0, we'll probably just have a G9 at the top. as the top of the gate. Well, I could equally call the G0B, so GB for bottom or base, and the top one is GT for G, like gate top. But it does mean I can kind of select all of those. Now, can I... mark as asset, library overwrite, view area. Okay, we'll do it from here. Duplicate objects. Nice, we have a second half of it now. This will be the easiest way to kind of so at 250 as we take 180 from that, it'd be 95, I suppose. No, 195? No, just 95. Oh. Do it manually, unfortunately. 95. And I need to move it this way. And shift it over slightly. Just bring it in a little. So make sure the lines are roughly visible equally on both sides. That looks identical. Right, just need a stone then that will sit at the top. Change these all to L's. Cool. Let's give that a save. Gonna give Ozzy his food, be right back, okie dokie. Go feed the little fluffy Dark Lord. I'll see you shortly. And this stone is roughly kind of the appropriate size. Does need a slight rotation. I'm thinking I'll probably end up having to sculpt this centre one, but if I get a rough size that I need it to be, at least that'll be a start. Yes, be right back. I send my panel I was drawing during your stream on your server. Nice. Look at it when I'm back. I want live opinion. Okay, I'll hold off. Go do your thing. Yeah, I'm quite happy with that stone gate. Decided I don't particularly want that rock, so delete that. It's almost kind of metallic. I'm going to have to come up with a better texture, because the rock texture is a little bit dark for my liking. I don't want it to be quite this dark, although it's not bad. Plus I want it to actually have a proper texture, like a rock kind of texture going on. Not just say a colour. But we don't need that centerpiece anymore. Get rid of that. Give that a save again. I suppose I could bring in a let's rename that for now. G9. Just so we know it's part of the gate. Let's import a character just to kind of see how it looks. Hi Ebaxter, how's it going? Good to see you. Hope you've been having a good Wednesday and enjoying your week so far. Is that minus 90? Yeah, that's what I thought. Not too bad, just reading lots. Was it fun reading or was it like study reading? I'm not too happy generally with reading anyway, but if it's reading that is interesting, at least I can deal with it. Fun reading, glad to hear then. Yeah, I'm dyslexic, so reading is physically tiring, but I still try to do reading where I can. But certain things I can read, no problem. But yeah, it's a shame because I would love to be able to read more. How are you doing? Pretty good, pretty good. It's been a good week. Been a very productive week at work. And positive news generally with things going on. So I'm happy. It's good to kind of see the positives. I'm dyslexic too. Taught myself to read over time. Nice. I suppose it's kind of like any. If you consider it to be like an exercise of the mind, the more you do it, it's kind of becomes easier, and you find ways to kind of deal with it. Oh, glad you got to that stage. I want to, but it's like I suppose it's the same like lifting a heavy weight. It's like this weight is too heavy. I don't want to keep lifting this weight. I'm going to put it down. And to me, that's like picking up a book. The book is heavy in some ways, but I bought myself my very first ebook like novel I bought many like teach yourself ebooks, but I bought my first novel ebook. And I have like an ebook reader that kind of makes it easier to read. So I'm going to try and give that a go. Actually, read a novel because I own novels. Like I have a few authors, friends who are authors and stuff. Like I purchased this book off my friend, and I've probably read about 2 pages. It's not like a novel. It's like poems, and poems are like 1 or 2 pages. I can go, well, I can deal with 1 or 2 pages, but even then, I've only read a few pages of this. Started by reading books that I'd seen the film, so if I missed any bits, I still understood the story. Ah, good thinking. That's a good idea. Like I did try to start reading like the Harry Potter books because I know when they were written, they were designed for children. So to read them was supposed to be easier. And I kind of started reading okay with that, but again, I just, yeah, it's just kind of pushing yourself to, okay, you need to exercise your brain muscle to keep doing stuff. But you know, some of these like little mini stories, because I think these are like poems and mini stories that my friend has written here. And yeah, at most, I think the longest one's like 4 pages, and that's the end of the story. So I should be able to read this, and it's a good sized print. Like, not sure how well that comes out, but that's not too small, and I can read that kind of print. Very clear. I find it easier when the print is bigger. Yeah, if it's too small, my eyes can't focus on single lines. Like I keep missing which line I'm reading because my eyes keep jumping between the lines. But it's bigger print. It doesn't jump around so much. I get overwhelmed. It's tiny print. It all bleeds together. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I get. Like it just becomes a scribble on the page. Like, I can't focus. Like I'm trying to read along, and my eyes keep jumping between lines. And yeah, it's not. It just becomes tiring. But I'm glad to hear that it's possible. Because I do want to read. Like I've bought. My friend has written 3 books. I bought all 3 books, and I've not read any of them. But I bought them anyway because I wanted to support him, and I generally want to read the books. It's just yeah. I bought another friend who's an author. I bought his books as well. I've not read them. I really struggled for a long time, but now I love it. It's great escapism. That's cool. I'm glad to hear that. I know books are great escapism for a lot of people. And my partner sort of thankfully had books when they were younger for that exact reason. And they love reading. I like fantasy books. Nice. Yeah, I think most of what I've read, like what I tend to read, are factual books, like knowledge books. Like I can read something, take knowledge from it, and the knowledge kind of sticks, and it's information. Whereas I find with fantasy books, I have to kind of not only put my brain power into reading what's on the page, but also sort of translating what I'm reading and kind of building the world as I'm reading it. And that it becomes like sort of a process which I can, okay, start building the room they're talking about. And then talking about the character, then go, well, but what was the room again? I can't remember what the room was because I've spent so much time trying to work out the character, and it's sort of trying to get the flow is quite hard. Like, reading the words is fine. It's kind of putting the power. Oh, I think it's flagged that. Let's allow that. You should try Humans: A Brief History of How We Fucked It All Up if you like factual. Ooh, that sounds cool. I shall check that out. It's written colloquially. I know that word, I can't say it. But that's colloquially. My tongue doesn't always do what my brain's thinking. But I'll give that a go. It's like written relaxed. Ah, okay. That's good. Like anything that's intense writing is not too posh and serious. I like that kind of breakdown. Thank you. See, if I start reading more, I should be able to understand longer words. Not too posh and serious. It's written like a conversation you'd have rather than too intense. Ah. Now, I like the sound of that, Baxter. I shall definitely check that out. Like, I can generally write stuff, but I don't know what I've written. After a short time, I don't know what I've written. And you have to like keep going back and go, where am I in what I'm writing right now? And I have to keep going back. My ability to kind of retain information in context can be quite hard sometimes, like as in reading it and writing it. But in conversation, that just becomes natural. I can just retain points of information. But if it's something's too descriptive, that's too much detail, and I tend to forget half of it. You're very articulate. That sounds about right. I'm very good at if you give me a piece of text, I should try speaking typing. I did try when I was younger. Like, when I say when I was younger, like, unfortunately when I was younger, software and the ability to turn speech into text was in its infancy. Like, it was like these days you can speak to something and it just knows what you're saying. Like when I was younger, you had to train the software to understand every single word you were saying. Like I had to spend like an hour saying words to this software. Like it gave me a series of words and I had to say each of these different words, and then eventually it learns what my voice sounded like, and then it could start trying to write for me. Now if I had what we have now, I think it was like Dragon Speaking, but if we had what we had now, it'd be a breeze. Did that too. Dragon Speaking, I think it was. That was like, I give up. I'm just going to try and write it. But yeah, I'm thankful these things are available today, because people with dyslexia and those who struggle to read and write, just have these tools now. They can just pick these things up, and it doesn't stop them from learning. But yeah, I certainly should give that a go. Hey, welcome back, Jeffrey. The e-reader I have on my phone now, obviously it'll just read things to me if I need help kind of digesting stuff. Dyslexia, I've got dyslexia, and eBaxter does too, by the looks of it, which is interesting. It's cool to know. I can write computer code. I can spend hours writing computer code. I can spend hours reading computer code. Not an issue. I've written entire pieces of software. Sort of no problems. You want me to read a book? I'm kind of game over. Don't have dyslexia, no ADD or autism. Eva, autism was tested twice. Ah. I got ADHD and dyslexia. These kind of neurodivergencies tend to kind of overlap. Like, I thought I was only dyslexic. Like, I was tested for dyslexia, and they go, "Oh, here's the reason you've been so stressed at college trying to do all this work, and why you failed subjects. It's because you have dyslexia, not because you just can't be bothered to try and read and write." Which are, oh, thank you. That's good to know after kind of like 18 years of my life. But I know sort of everything that I've had problems with, I thought, oh, it's dyslexia. Until I actually looked at what dyslexia is and went, hang on, a lot of the things I'm struggling with are not actually dyslexia. That dyslexia is one of the things I have, but it doesn't account for everything else I'm having problems with. So I likely have another neurodivergence like ADHD or autism, but I've not been tested. I don't know for sure. I used to have depression and panic attacks, but that all cured. Took me 15 years. Oh, glad to hear that, Jeffrey. Yeah, I think they come hand in hand. They seem to. Like, the brain has a difference in the wiring, and it tends to kind of present itself in different conditions. All I have now is straight up gangsterism, but I can't shake that. They only found out I had dyslexia at uni. Oh wow! Like, you must have. I'm guessing you must have like really battled through early education. Like, I didn't know until college. Like, once I was at college, like in the UK, I did all of school, all of secondary school, went to college, and go, well, you seem to be like the top of every single module at college. You're acing all the subjects, apart from the one where you have to read and write. This doesn't add up. Why are you like showing intelligence on every other subject, but you can't seem to write it down? So that's when they found out that, oh, okay, yeah, you're dyslexic. ADHD when I was 32. Oh wow. Yeah, true that. Check the art and give it honest opinion. Okay, yes. Let's have a look. Can still change things now. Friday uploads. Okie dokie. In the art page, there it is. Oh, excuse me. Oh, that's pretty cool. I take it it's just leaped off the building. I like it. So, guessing by the way that's drawn, she's kind of jumped and is falling straight down the side of the building, as opposed to leaping forward. As the way the lines are kind of going vertical, it's kind of like a direct vertical fall. That's the only thing I would say. If she's supposed to be travelling a little bit, then obviously the lines don't indicate that. But like the detail, like the texturing, the detail, like the hair, the flow of the hair probably doesn't quite match the lines. If I was only going to be critical. Like, it depends how much speed you want to indicate that the character's kind of experiencing. I agree, but it looks pretty, yeah. Looks good. It all depends if you want sort of, okay, what's the velocity she's going at here? What kind of you want to indicate, like direction, velocity. But if she's literally just leaped, like the hair is not going to suddenly fly everywhere. Especially with the arms out, that's kind of like initially giving some resistance to the fall. So that could be this immediate, just a straight, immediately after the jump. So again, I suppose, depending on how far she's falling, maybe the body would twist. And I'm thinking like sort of real world physics here, but ignoring physics, like the detail, like that's awesome. She can shoot red lightning from her hands. Oh, like you've really, your skill level has just jumped right up. Because you compare that your first comic that you started showing me compared to this one now, like it's completely different. Yeah, ignore the real world things. Yeah, thank you. No problem. Like if you show me both comics, I would have to take a moment to go, okay, I can see it's the same artist, but only just like things like the eyes and sort of the general theme is the same, but like the quality has just jumped right up between comics. You really kind of built your skill up here. It's very good, but I like it. Well done. And yeah, like the previous one, just perched on the edge. Like the way her fingers on the previous image, you just got that almost like a claw ready to kind of get herself stuck into her target. When she lands, she kills an old lady. But it's okay. I'm guessing the old lady's evil. But yeah, that's only being absolutely critical, mentioning kind of the flow and stuff. Like if you take the two images one after the other, you can kind of see what's going on. But only you know that, and Lisa. Yes, she poisons children by handing out drugged candies. Oh wow. My friend Jamie exclamax, you know, yeah. Rest still thinks the girl is the evil one. Okay. Cool. Yes, of course, yeah. Oh yeah, New Baxter knows as well now. But the reader thinks he's a nice boy that wanted to help. Oh yeah, that the boy in the previous chapter is a rapist and wanted to help. But yeah, the roofie, yeah. Do you like the new Falling in Reverse song with Marilyn Manson? Don't think I've heard that one. I generally like Falling in Reverse, so I guess I would like that one. Yeah. This character here is roughly the right kind of height for me. This guy's about 6 foot. So I reckon that gate's a good size. If you listen to it as a Falling Reverse song, it's not very them. But if you listen to it as a Marilyn Manson song, it's good. Oh, okay. So I suppose it depends who had more influence in the actual songwriting. Do you find out with collaborations that one artist kind of has more influence on the process? Now, when I think of like collaborations between artists, one of my favourite ones is Pendulum and Liam Howlett from The Prodigy, because they're two of my favourite artists anyway. But when I found out they did a collaboration, I kind of lost it basically. I'm like, this is amazing. Hey Lisa, welcome back. But you can tell, like, okay, this artist did this bit, this artist did this bit. You can hear their different elements they put together. Go, okay, that's definitely them, but this bit's definitely them. And so I can see the influence between the two. Speaking of drawing, I even forgot your cover just really hard. That's fine. There's no rush on that. Our pets can be friends now. Yeah, probably best not to meet in real life. It's really, really hard. I did not think it. Not biggest fan of the new Falling in Reverse song. It's not bad, not great. That's fair. You can pet him too. Nice. Yeah, if you find that sort of it's going to be too hard to do, what I could do is just try and make a scene in software, like I'm doing kind of here, and actually make the scene, and then kind of trace the scene into an image. Like actually, like, okay, position the camera where I'd want it, and go, okay, it's probably about there. Take a still image, and then kind of like trace it and stylize it, kind of thing. So I could do that with Alt Overthrow, and just actually make the scene that I want to have in there, and then just kind of like stylize it up a bit. Because I can imagine things like perspective and ratios and all that makes it a bit easier. Oh, Restream bot decided to go a bit nuts there. As I was telling HD before you were here, two ladies that were walking their dogs were having a conversation in the morning right in front of my gate. I did not like that, so let one of my dogs say hi. And then I had peace and quiet. Also did not like it, no. No, it's very disrespectful. Like, so don't have conversations in front of people's houses, especially in the morning. And especially don't lean on people's properties. Jarvis would just go make friends with them because he's soft and dumb and he's no use. Yeah, so need to kind of make a nicer texture for this. I want it to look like rock and not just grey. And I probably want to reshape that rock at the top there. But otherwise I think I'm happy with that. Yeah, our dogs are not fans of other dogs. He thinks everyone should pay him attention and his friends are. Or cats, or humans, or other animals. The male one is really into birds. He loves birds. Oh. Does he find them tasty or just enjoys their company? For dinner, yeah. When we still lived near water in the old house, we would spend a lot of time watching the ducks. Now he likes to bird watch. No joke, it's funny. Oh, cool. I'm running out of tea. Need to. Oh, I've got a little bit of tea in there, I suppose. They're cute, it is. He's a softy under it all. He just likes to murder everything else. Oh, this one likes squirrels. Are they not in our backyard? If they're not in the backyard. I didn't like that deer that got into our property. Ooh. Still think Aussie was better with getting rid of deers on our property. I wasn't there, but I heard the stories from my father. Oh. Aussie scared the 3 deers off. Yeah, I can bet he'd be a vicious cat. I like videos. I've seen videos online of cats that will just take on anything. So they forget they're about this big, and they just behave like big wild cats. He took like a wide stance, making him look strong. It's like, I am big cat, fear me. Ran towards this. I've seen videos of cats take on crocodiles. And the crocodiles legitimately ran. Like, okay, I'm out of here. A cat once booped Jarvis on the nose, and now he's scared of him. Yeah, like my partner had a dog who was a Staffordshire Bull Terrier, and those things can kill. And yeah, the cat just full on claws out, swiped her nose because she was barking at the cat. So the cat basically cut the dog's nose open, and ever since then, the dog stayed about a metre away from the cat at all times. And this thing could be, you could chomp the cat's head. It could have just killed the cat in one bite. But it would not go near it after having its Lanceor, yes. Wouldn't go near it after that. And it did properly catch the dog's nose. Like, she ran running through the house, leaving a trail of blood from her nose. We had to kind of like patch her up. But she didn't go near the cat again. Yeah, cats are something else, definitely. No, it was an absolutely lovely dog. It's a shame, yeah. She was a bit old and she got cancer. Still have the cats though. Absolutely soppy thing. Yeah, it happens, yeah. But the cat's still going strong. Jaw Slayer has a tendency to try and encourage cats to come into the house. Oh, my first female Rottweiler also died of cancer. Oh, cat whisperer. Does he have like treats and catnip and go, come on, come on? Yeah, so some people, cats just they just flock to him. Yeah, cats kind of know certain people are cat people. That they go, this person here, I think I can get something out of them. And the cats will just go to them. They think he's a witch. Ban him. Met a cat at my supermarket last Monday. Was fun. Very friendly. Oh. You know, my parents went on holiday to Greece the other week. And there was like 5 cats that lived at the hotel in Greece. And they just kind of pestered the people at the hotel for food. Like, they would just come up to you and go, ah, you there, human, give me food. And they've never met before. It's just like, they're just kind of hoping that people who go on holiday there just go, well, the people who live in these places tend to feed us. I like meeting random cats. I do too. I love cats. Yeah, cats are awesome. I got to meet another friend's cat last night. Very fluffy. Like, never met the cat before, but we were sat there having a meeting in their house, and the cat just comes in, says hello to everybody in the meeting, has fuss, tries to steal food, and then chills out in the corner. Like, never met the cat before in my life. but big fluffy one. Lovely cat. I think her name was what do they call her? Piglet. Cat was called Piglet. But like a fluffy cat, kind of fluffy like Aussie, but a little bit smaller, being a female cat. Very cute name, yeah. Like a brown, darkish brown furred cat, long fur, very long fur. I wonder if I can bring a texture into this. Where's my textures folder? It's castle. I do have textures here somewhere. I'm going to head off and sleep now. Thanks for keeping me company for a bit. I was feeling a bit lonely. Oh, sorry to hear that, E-Baxter. Glad we could help. You go and get some rest now. I'll be signing off very shortly anyway. I usually wrap up just after about 10 o'clock. Yeah, good night. Have a good rest. And we'll hope to see you soon. I'll be doing some more of this particular project next Wednesday. So I'll be back on Friday doing the actual game dev stuff. But yeah, I'll see you then. Just want to quickly find a texture. And I can drop it on there then. Fancy RPG. I need to organise this better because I got 2D and 3D things in the same folder. And I've got some stuff I've made myself. Where's the textures? RPG, rogues, steampunk tiles, tropical lands, mesh. Monsters, Halloween, Japan. I'm sure I had a texture pack somewhere. Dungeons, explosions, retro characters, cute RPG, animal sprites arcade. Did I put in assets maybe? Ah, here we go. I did separate some of it out. Retro textures. Do we have rocks, moss, metal, liquid planks, roof, sand, rocks, rock textures? Ah, here we go. Maybe that one? I dragged it in, will that work? How do we get texture in? Palette, color palette. Need to make a material. New material. Surface. Base color resurface. What an image. Where can I put the image? Line art? Nope. Custom properties. I just want to drag an actual image into this. Let's rename this rock texture. Do we have anything for textures? Texture painting, maybe. Let's have a quick Google. Bring texture, import texture into Blender. How we do this? To import textures in Blender, you'll typically start by ensuring the node Wrangler add-in is enabled. What? Now you can add the text to your material, then usually a principled BSDF node. Connect the texture to the appropriate inputs. Oh, that sounds complicated. Is that the best option? Ah, so I was close. I want image texture. Ah, there we go. Open. Kill. Right. And which image was I looking at? T-Rock 79. So after download new game in game dev? Possibly. Possibly. Now I would like to kind of finish a few things off in Revolt Overthrow, or I might use Wednesdays for the start the new game and use Fridays for the old game. But I'd rather not do too much overlap. No, that's a bit too dark there. But yeah, I want to finish doing the cutscene for Revolt Overthrow, and kind of like push out a new demo for it for people to test. Then maybe look at doing better lighting, better kind of what they call them. There's a Shaders. Need to look into shaders to kind of give the game a look. But in the meantime, I can probably in Blender I'll be starting doing stuff for the new game. I suppose I can probably say now that this is actually for the new game. So I've already kind of started the new game because this is our first thing for the new game. But as far as actually working on the code for the new game, it might be a little while. Repeat, flat, linear, single image. Generated. Sequence. Repeat, yep. Flat, box, sphere, linear. Subsurface. Let's go back to here. So let's go back to image texture. Go open. Go back to the rocks. It was 79, wasn't it? Yeah, might have to have a playoff stream. Let's see if I can get the texture working and we'll carry on with it next week. Let's switch over to the other camera. So I need to kind of learn texturing. But once I've got learned texturing, I want to reshape that top, the rock at the top. And then kind of do a little bit of animation maybe on it. We'll work that out, but I'll do this as the main thing. Thank you for the stream, it was epic. Well, thank you for being here, Lisa. Much appreciated. Always do. Yeah, it gets so late, my brain doesn't like to try and learn things this late. So we'll do it next Wednesday. But yeah, next stream will be on Friday, actually still working on Revolt Overthrow again, that cutscene. To happen, get that guy walking. We're nearly there. Have a good night. See you next time. Yes, indeed. Thank you for being here, Jeffrey. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you, E. Baxter, for dropping in. Thank you, Earth, from YouTube. And everyone else who's been lurking. Much appreciate you all. Get yourself that sorry for the Dutch and the nice cap. Yeah, I've got it in my basket. I just need to click the buy button. So I'll do that. But yeah, have a good night. Enjoy the rest of your week. I shall see you all on Friday. And yeah, hope you have a good rest. I shall see you then. Good night.